Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So good evening, friends, and welcome once again on this two-day series masterclass on GST refunds. We had a wonderful day one. We received a great feedback and the appreciation also at the end of day one. And friends, we have uploaded the presentation in the handout section. We'll also send through mail tomorrow. We have already sent day one recording to each and everyone in the reminder mail. So please check that reminder mail again. I think we have sent 3-4 mail or even more for the reminding of today's session. Few more people will join, but we will start now. We'll wait for around 7-8 minutes and now we can start. So once again, welcome Sachin bhai, and thank you so much for sparing your time and sharing the knowledge with all the attendees. And friends, Sachin will share the feedback form at the end of the session or somewhere middle of the session. So all are requested to give feedback for the session as well. So over to you, Sachin bhai. So before Sachin bhai start, would like to request everyone to post their question or any query in the question tab, just like yesterday. So make it an interactive webinar. So over to you, Sachin bhai.
Thank you so much, Virat bhai. Thank you. Hello, everyone. A warm welcome, everyone, once again today. So today it's gonna be a very interesting points we will discuss upon GST refunds. Yesterday we had a good discussion on types of refunds. What are the refunds? The circumstances or cases where an exporter is eligible for refunds, and what are the types, different types of refunds, how to file the refunds, what is the process in a brief from how the refunds are being processed right from application up till getting the money into the bank account. Today we'll look at the process of filing the refund application in detail and how we can track that application once the refund application is filed, how the department issue the notice, and how we can check the notice and how we can file the reply against the notice which are being issued for the purpose of refunds, and what are all the documentation and details required throughout the proceedings of refunds so that our refunds can get processed very smoothly, because documentation is one of the very important points. Without detailed and correct documentation, the refunds will become a very big challenge for you. And we'll discuss upon risky exporter, that is an alert being invoked by DGARM. And we'll also discuss few common mistakes which many of the taxpayer makes at the time of filing the refund application, or in terms of maintaining the documentation, which definitely impact their refund process. And we'll also discuss few best practices which we can follow, wherein we can ensure smooth flow of refunds. And also we'll take up few FAQs, and definitely we'll also take up any queries which our members have. Yesterday we had discussed few of the queries which our member has posted in the chat box, question box, and maybe few members has left out at the end. So again, if they have their question unanswered, we can definitely take up those questions today as well. So we'll start with it. I'll just screen share my presentation. I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, amazing. And I hope the voice is also fine.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you. So yesterday we had a good discussion again on what is refunds, the definition of refunds, main provisions, a section governing the refunds under GST, types of refunds. We had also discussed very deeply what is exports of goods, export of services, various types of refunds, circumstances where refunds arises. So today we'll discuss on further points. So now we'll start with the point of process of refunds. So yesterday we had discussed this flowchart. Again, we'll just quickly go through it so that further discussions become quite easy for us. So once the GST refund application is filed, before filing refund application, we go to ensure our GST returns 3B and 1 are duly filed. ARN number is generated once the refund application is filed online. After that, GST officer will do the verification, apparent verification of completeness of the documentation of the refund file. If he is satisfied, then he will issue RFD2. Not satisfied, he will issue deficiency memo in RFD03, for which again we'll have to file a fresh application. After that, he will verify the refund application. If he needs any further detail, he will issue RFD08 show cause notice, asking for further details and clarification, for which a taxpayer need to file RFD09, that is reply to show cause notice. And after that, GST officer issues the refund order. And once refund order is granted, issued, money is credited into the bank account. If refund is rejected completely or partially, money can be recredited into the electronic credit ledger by filing the undertakings under PMT03, or else you can file an appeal if you're not satisfied with the order issued by the GST officer. This is a brief process, and now we'll look at the process step by step, how it appears and looks on the GST portal. So once we log in on our GST portal, this is how it looks up. So our refund application option comes under services, and after that refunds, and after that application for refunds. Once we click upon that, this screen appears where all the different categories of refunds application are available. We got to ensure that we file the refund application under the correct head, else our refund will get rejected. So these are the categories and types of refunds. Accordingly, we have to select it, like excess balance in electronic cash ledger, refunds of ITC on exports of goods and services without payment of tax, refund of supplies to SEZ, refunds under due to inverted duty structure, and so on. Accordingly, we have to select our type, and we got to select the period below. At the bottom, we got to select the period. Here's few interesting facts about selecting the period for filing the refund application. This period can be a month, can be 2 months, 3 months, quarterly, half yearly, yearly. It can even run in multiple financial years, because we are allowed to file the refund application within the 2 years. So you can file the refund application for multiple months as well. It's completely allowed. We got to ensure one more thing before this, all the refund application are being filed chronologically. So if example, if you're filing the refund application for April 2024, so we got to ensure, first of all our GST returns are duly filed up till April 2024. All the refund application prior to April 2024 are filed, whether we have claimed or not. If not, then we have to file a nil refund application. Only then we are allowed to file the refund for further period. In one of my case, I remember we had filed a single refund application for 2 whole years. Officer was initially surprised how it can be, but it is completely allowed. There is no such restriction. We'll move to the next step. So this is how it appears when we put up the period. It shows, do we have any refund to claim? Yes. If we put it yes, then our refund application will open. If we put no, so a nil refund application will get filed. So this is the screen which appears when we select the period, the category. For example, I have selected over here exports of goods or services without payment of tax, LUT mode. So this is the form with how it appears. Quite good details are available in the portal itself, which helps a lot while filing the refund application. So these are the basic details, which are like period, from which period to which period. Right now I have just selected July 21, say July 22, let's say. Here the basic detail, name, legal name, GST number will be available. And for here, important messages also available, which give us hints and tips for the purpose of filing the refund application. Right here, over here, it's giving the details of how to calculate the adjusted total turnover. And we'll move ahead. Over here, in the below, you see it's mentioned click to upload details of exports of goods and or services. Here we go to upload a statement. Every refund application which we file, we have to mandatorily upload a statement in this particular option, which is an Excel based utility which can be downloaded from the just adjacent line which mentioned download offline utility. We go to download that utility, fill that details, that all this kind of utilities differ from category of refunds to category of refunds. We'll see that one of the sample offline utility, how it appears, what kind of details are there to be filled up. We'll check that also. So this is the table we need to fill up. Here we have discussed this formula that refunds, for the purpose of refunds of ITC on exports without payment of tax, the formula is zero-rated turnover divided by adjusted turnover multiplied by net ITC. There you get the maximum eligible refund amount. This is a simple formula. We got to put up these details. Once we fill up the details, and we also need to upload those statement in the JSON form. This is what I was talking about. Okay, click to upload the details. Once we click upon that, before we got to download that, and once we open that file, that offline utility, this is how it appears. Okay, this contains the basic detail: GST number, return period for the period for which we are filing the refund application. We got to carefully mention that. If we make any mistake over there, then the file won't get validated on the portal, and then we won't be able to proceed with filing of refund application. While filling this utility, mind well, this particular sheet is very delicate, I'll say. Doing copy paste in this sheet is really a task, because otherwise it creates n number of error while generating JSON and also while uploading on the GST portal. So we got to carefully do that. If possibly, don't do copy paste. Try to put the details. At time it becomes a very tedious job to put all the details. Definitely we can take help of our team member, junior assistants and team member, to get this detail ready. But definitely we need to check, and how we can prepare these details. I will just give a small tip here, that what I personally do is I have created this same thing, a replica, in a normal Excel file, and we fill up those details first. We keep those details ready, and then we start posting in this particular form. This particular statement contains details of documents like sale invoices, invoice number, invoice date, value, and if it's exports of good, we got to put shipping bill details, shipping bill number, port code, FOB value, EGM number. EGM number is very important. Only when there is available, EGM number is available, only then we can file the refund application. And in case of export of services, EGM or shipping bill details are not required. There we go to mention the FIRC details, foreign inward remittance detail. Those are the details we got to put it in here. Once we do it, we got to validate it. On the left top, you can see validate and calculate. After that, if it is successful, no error. If there is an error, it will highlight few error. We got to make the rectification, and everything is fine. We got to create a file to upload. A JSON will be generated. Once JSON is generated, then we can upload that same in this option over here, which I've highlighted here. Right now, what we're seeing is a statement 3. For the different category of refund, it can be statement 2, statement 4, 6, and so on. So once we enter that option to upload that JSON, and once we upload that, this is how it appears. The number of record, it shows how many records have been uploaded, and we got to click on the declaration, okay, that details are been that we are filing the refund application for the period, and we got to validate, and then we can proceed ahead. Once the detail gets successfully uploaded over here, only then we are allowed to proceed with an filing of the refund application online. We'll move ahead. As we have seen that we got to put these details where we get the details of eligible refund amount as per the calculation. But that's not the only thing in the refunds. We got to compare 2 more factors to get the maximum eligible refund amount. First, right now, as we have checked as per the calculation, the other 2 points are that we got to check the amount of ITC balance after filing the refund, after filing the returns for the said period. I repeat, the ITC balance, electronic credit ledger balance, available after filing the GST return for the said period. So in our illustration, as we are filing for June and July, so this shows, this will here it will show the amount of ITC balance available after filing the July GSTR returns. And the next next one more filter will be the balance in electronic credit ledger as of date of filing the refund application. So these are the three comparing figures. We got to compare the lower of which we can claim the refunds. And over here, there is another very interesting point to discuss, that if we have calculated that maximum refund as per the calculation, let's come 2,22,705. That is a maximum refund we are eligible. And if you see it here carefully, there is no breakup of ITC or no classification of ITC into IGST, CGST or SGST. There is no such breakup. Only one single figure has been put of ITC, merging all CGST, SGST and IGST. Here, in the purpose of calculation of refunds, all ITC is clubbed together and then refund amount is calculated. And then in the form further, there's another table where we got to break up, where we got to put the breakup of amounts of the refund what we are claiming. Here, when we have checked as per the first filter, where the maximum refund amount is coming as 2,22,000, but due to the limitation in the balance available on credit ledger as on date of filing of refund application, we cannot claim more than 2,02,000. Even though our formula says 2,22,000, but the amount available in the credit ledger is lower, you cannot claim beyond that. Had it been, the amount would have been zero, so our refund application would have been for zero only. So there is no need to file the refund application. So these are the main filtration we got to check. Generally, I have seen many cases where client comes up that हमारा तो बहुत exports हुआ है या बहुत ये हुआ है and हमारा बहुत refund निकलेगा, but don't just directly jump on conclusion that इतना sale है तो इतना refund होगा. नहीं, we got to make the detailed calculation, because there are many filtration which comes up in between, like the limitation of 1.5 times the value of exports. That is one of the hindrance. ITC of capital goods are excluded, that we have to exclude, and the available balance in the electronic credit ledger. All these are the factors which then after considering these details, only then we can come up to the maximum refund amount what we can get. The next step will be that we have to select the bank account in which we will claiming the refunds. And here it is mandatory that our bank account should be uploaded and should be validated on the GST portal. Only then we are able to file the refund application. There is a drop down. If you have multiple bank accounts, it will show the option. We got to select that, and accordingly our refund will be processed in the respective bank account. We'll move ahead. Here's a very simple form. ये बहुत छोटा सा फॉर्म है. मैंने इसको पार्ट में स्क्रीनशॉट किया है so that वो छोटा ना zoom दिखे. Here are a few declaration we got to select. No other choice. उसको टिक करके ही आगे बढ़ना पड़ेगा. And here's the very interesting point which I have told, that LUT, letter of undertaking, is one of the very important document which is required. Here you got to put the ARN number of LUT, without which we won't be able to file the refund application. This is mandatory, and moreover, without which even the GST officer won't process the refund application for you. He will reject it. So we got to put here the ARN number of LUT, and then this is how it looks. The LUT, this is a screenshot of one of the LUT of the client. This is how it appears, that LUT is filed under GSTR 11, and we got to file this refund LUT prior to making the export of services or exports of goods. So this is mandatory. This is how it appears. Just a screenshot for reference purpose. And after proceeding ahead, we got to put the declaration and get it signed by DSC or EVC. Once it is done, ARN number is immediately generated, as just as similar to जैसे हम GSTR 3B or GSTR 1 file करते हैं. This is how it is. Very important point again, that once we prepare the whole of the refund application, we also got to upload the documents. We got to upload the documentation. What are the list of documentation? We'll discuss ahead in today's session. We got to upload this documentation. Without that, apparently our application would look deficient, and there's a high chances that a GST officer might issue deficiency memo in RFD 03, and again we have to file the refund application. So it's very important we upload all the minimum mandatory requirement documents over here in the time of application, and we can have a preview of whole application form, like what we check while doing our GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 or annual return as well. So we got to check the preview. Once we check the preview, we are okay with that. We see all the details are available, like all the uploads have been visible over there, the figures and amounts which we have put are fine. Then we can proceed with the filing of refund application. So till here we have discussed how we can file the refund application. Once we file the refund application, our amount get debited from our electronic credit ledger, and this is how it appears. See, I have highlighted over here that once we have filed a refund application, this is how it will appear, that amount has been debited. And showing the closing balance as 0, as the case may be. Now, once we file the refund application, we can track our refund application online itself. And again, we go to go on services. Now we won't go under refunds, we go under user services. Under user services, there is my application. Under my application, there is a drop down available. There you can select refunds, put the date range when as the date of refund application, and just click on search. And your search result will look in this way. This is how it appears. All the refund application during this period will be listed over here. So here it will continuously, it will show the status of the refund application which we have filed. Once it is filed, it will show filed. Once RFD 2 is issued, it will show acknowledged. Once the order is issued, accordingly it will show the status. It will keep on getting updated. Over here, ARN number is been written, which I have just blurred it. Once we click on the ARN number, this kind of screen appears. Now this is a screen appears which has a complete control sheet, I can say, of our refund application. So here our ARN number is visible, our date, our category of refunds which we have filed, and we can download this in the action button. If you see, there is a download button available. There you can download the RFD 01 form. ARN is a different PDF. RFD 01 is a different PDF. We can save all these details for our records. RFD 01 has a whole details of what we have filled up online, and these are the other options available which we can refer, like notices or acknowledgement issued, or whatever replies we have filed to the notices issued, the order, and the audit history. We'll check these details now. In the acknowledgement and the notice section, there, once the refund application filed in RFD 1 and the officer is satisfied with the completeness of application, he will issue RFD 02. So here it appears RFD 02, and here you can download also RFD 02. On the right side, you can download RFD 02. Also, here if he issues notice in RFD 08 for further clarification or details, then it will appear over here. It will appear over here. You can see RFD 02, RFD 08, and here once the RFD 08 is issued, the two options are available. You can download, first of all, RFD 08, you can download that notice, what he's trying to say, what he's asking for. Accordingly, you can file a reply. There are two options available. See, also it's also mentioning the due date under which we have to file the reply. So two options are available: to file it or to get the adjournment. So we can take some time to file the reply, or else we have to file it within 15 days. It's mandatory. We got to file it, or else our application will be impacted. The officer may take any adverse step also if you don't reply it on time. So here you can file a reply to it, and RFD09 form will get open. You got to mention, put our remarks or replies, and also upload documents over there. Or else, if you want to take an adjournment, you can simply click on that and take the adjournment. We'll move ahead. Here, there's an option of further field which is available of order. Over here, it will show RFD06, which is a refund order. You can download the order over here. It's showing, and also it also appears the options available to submit undertaking under PMT03. PMT03, I repeat, it is that undertaking for which a partial or a complete refund which is rejected by the government officer, GST government officer. So we have to put that so that money is again recredited into our electronic credit ledger. Or else, if he has given the full refund, no need to file that. So here is a very interesting small summary of a whole refund application under this category is available. A really very beautiful report they have shared. This is an audit history. It has simply, you can see all the details are available over here. That date of filing the application, date of acknowledgement RFD 2, and who has taken the action. Here in the right side, you can see taxpayer, tax officer, and taxpayer. Then for RFD 08 was issued. After that, request for personal hearing or extension was done. A reply was filed in RFD 09. See, and after that, refund order was issued, and after that, payment order was issued in RFD 05. So here you can get the whole bird eye view of the whole case of the whole process of the refund application. We'll move ahead. As we have discussed that refund has to be filed within the period of maximum 2 years. So वो 2 years calculate कहाँ से होगा, कहाँ से वो 2 years count करना है, which is very important. Depending upon the type of transaction what we are entering into, it accordingly we got to calculate our 2 years limit. Sorry. So when you make the export of goods, here I have made a summarized table of type of transaction and from which date, which is a relevant date for calculating the 2 years limit. So first we'll discuss the exports of goods by sea or by air, the date on which the goods left the India. So that will be the date of calculating for 2 years. And when the exports are made of goods by land, then we got to check the date when the goods are past the frontier, with very similar to what from sea and air. And if the goods are exported by post, these days many of the exports, small exports like e-commerce exports and all, been done through post or from the courier mode. So this thing has gained importance these days. It will be the date of dispatch by the post office. Again, the logic and crux is same. It's as good as the date on which goods have been moved out. For cases of deemed exports, it will be the date of GSTR 3B, date on which GSTR 3B was filed. In case of SEZ sales, it will be due date of GSTR 3B. Here's the difference, date of 3B and due date of GSTR 3B. For export of services, we got to check these two things. The date of receipt of foreign currency when service completed prior, or the date of invoice when advance was received. Again, and next category will be refundable as a consequence of judgment, decree or order. In such cases, it will be the date of communication of order. Once the order is issued, within the 2 years from the date of order, we got to ensure that we claim the refund application. Next category comes up, inverted duty structure. In case of inverted duty structure, again the due date of GSTR 3B will be calculated for the purpose of 2 years limit, and for any other cases it will be taken as date of payment of taxes. So this is a very small summarized table which has been prescribed, which then I have tried to summarize it for ease of understanding. We'll move ahead. why I discussed, and this thing is very important, relevant dates for refunds. That because whenever a refund application is filed, the first most thing an officer has to ensure that the claim of the refund is been filed within the allowed time period. Only then he will further verify all the details and accordingly process the refund. That is one of the very important thing to be verified. Now here comes a very important point. A list of documentation which are mandatory for filing the refund application, and here I have classified the documentation in categories. So first of all, we got to fill up the RFD01 online form. That is very important. For every category, we got to fill up the form. Only in case of exports of goods, with payment of IGST, the refund is been processed automatically. No documentation, no application, nothing doing. Refund is processed automatically. Other than that category, we got to file the refund application online, and we got to upload these documents. So we got to upload the declarations. There are declarations been prescribed. We can definitely refer Rule 89 for that, which has a declaration required under the each category. We got to upload this statement. We in our discussion we have checked statement 3 in Excel offline utility. Over there we have discussed statement 3. For other type of category of refund, it may be statement 1, 2, 3, 4, 5B, 6, and 7. We have to prepare that in Excel form, and then we got to upload JSON out of it. We got to upload GSTR 2A, 2B. We got to prepare annexure B. Annexure B is an annexure being prescribed, which has ITC details, which has the details of there are around 17 columns which asks for the details like invoice number of ITC of all the inward supplies, invoice number, invoice date, party name, party GST number, ITC amount, CGST, SGST, IGST, classification of ITC, whether it's input services or capital goods, whether that ITC is available in 2B or not, yes or no, or whether you are eligible to claim to refunds, or accordingly we got to fill up the details and upload the PDF file. Only PDF files can be uploaded in the refund application. We got to upload that. Practically it happens that we do share this annexure B in Excel form to a GST officer for his ease of calculation, because when the data are huge, when the volume is high, there can be records like in one of my case I remember there were more than 10 lakh more than 35 lakh records. So for the officer to verify through PDF was not practically possible. So we always have a habit that we share the PDF Excel file also with them for their ease and faster processing. And these are the general documentation required in every type of refund application. And now there are specific documentation depending upon the type of transaction and category of refund application. Like we got to upload BRC and FIRC. Now this will be required in export of services. In export of goods, BRC and FIRC details are not required. We got to upload declaration by the buyer, endorsement of sale invoice by SEZ officer. Yes, this is one of the very important document. That endorsement on the sales invoices by the SEZ officer. Whenever you make any supplies to an SEZ officer, whenever you make any supplies to SEZ unit, the SEZ officer has to make an endorsement, a stamp. He got to put a number and a date, endorsement number and one endorsement date on the sale invoice copy, and you got to click that document from with you and preserve it. This is one of the very important proof and condition which justify and prove that you have made an SEZ sales, and only then you will be granted refunds. There are cases we have seen that client did not maintain all these records, and on the last hour he had to rush here and there, and in few of the cases, in few sales, he couldn't even arrange that. Then he had a huge challenge in claiming the refunds for that. And some export documentation or maybe order for the refund, and any other supporting documents which you also feel relevant for the purpose of filing the refund application. These are the list of documents which are required. You can also refer circular number 125, which has been issued, which is a master circular, I'll say, which has all the details required for filing the refund application. So here now we have discussed how a refund application is filed online. So now next we come upon, and also we have discussed the documentation which are required. Now we'll come upon a very interesting topic. Here's an interesting topic. Yes, risky exporter. The word itself defines it, that it only is tagged to the exporter only. Other than exporter, non-exporter will not get flagged under this. And this is been invoked by DGARM. Uh, Once the exporter has been classified as a risky exporter, all his refund benefits, all his incentives are stopped. All his export consignment are subject to 100% verification by the customs authority. When the goods are moved to the customs location for export purpose, all the goods will be examined because the alert has been invoked on the IEC number, import export code, and this is a centralized alert. Then whole of India, in any ports you may go, that alert will be visible, and all the consignment will be subject to verification. So the IGST refunds with payment of IGST, drawback, RODAP, all will get impacted. So this is a huge problem these days for many exporter. And moreover, this is not a new problem. I have been personally handling such cases of risky exporter. It's been more than 4 years. We have seen these cases are coming a lot. Moreover, in last few 6 months or a year, these cases are coming like anything. These cases are coming like anything. There are n number of reasons and reasons through which exporter might get classified as a risky exporter. And DGRM is an agency which do all the data analysis in the background, and with their lots of validations, checks and balances are there, under which criteria, if an exporter gets false, a taxpayer gets fall in that criteria, he will be marked as risky. And once he is marked as risky, the GST officer has been given the charge that he got to verify the details, the ITC claim, and all those details. And once he give a clean sheet, only then the alert is removed. Because this whole concept or idea behind getting this alert by DGRM was that there are many exporters who were claiming undue advantages, extra over invoicing, getting the ITC from illegal ways and claiming refunds. To stop all those, this particular program or alert has to be aborted. But in reality, if you see, because of those few mischievous exporters, so many genuine exporters have to face this issue. They have to face the heat. Because for any export business in today's world, in today's such a competitive world, if the refunds of drawback or IGST are stuck, the whole cycle of business, the working capital gets impacted a lot. So in case of exporter, the refunds amount is small, some may have a big, some may be huge, but it really impacts the working capital and also survival of the business as well at times, because this process of verification take good number of time. So this alert is been placed on IEC import export code, and it is visible in all over India, any port. So it's not just that if exporting from, let's say, port of Jain Nhava Sheva port, and if he finds there's an alert and he shift to any other port like Mundra or Air Cargo Sahar, so there he will be able to smoothly export. No, that won't happen. It's a centralized alert. This alert will be visible all over India. So there is no such way out. And there are some risk parameters which DGRM has been internally, they have been designed, under which if it falls, so all the incentives and benefits get withheld. Previously, the whole process used to take almost 6 months or a year or maybe more than that as well. So this was a really big problem for exporter. And at times there are many businesses we have seen who had to shut down and close because they couldn't survive and all that. So, but now government has realized it, that this process is really tedious, really taking a lot of time and impacting the business and survival of exporter, and definitely impacting the economy of India at large as well. So they had recently come up with instruction number 04 2022, which has streamlined the process to great extent, and also reduced the timelines, the process of getting the whole verification done. Otherwise, this verification previously was a very in-depth verification. Officer used to check anything and everything before giving a clean sheet or before getting the refund processed. In the old process, the refunds were been granted after all the verification and clean sheet. The refund was granted again by customs only. But in the new process, what is happened once the alert is invoked, the refunds of IGST will get stopped. Drawback, RODAP, ROSTEL will still continue. Luckily, unlike previous process, the RODAP, drawback or ROSTEL will also got stopped. But now they have realized that the whole concept is only connected to GST and ITC matters. So why RODAP or ROSTEL or RODAP should be or drawback should be affected? So now they have realized and they have amended in the process that now only IGST will be withheld. Drawback, RODAP and ROSTEL will continue to the exporter. And here the respective GST officer will do the verification. How the process will flow? Once the alert is invoked, the IGST will get stopped. Automatically, he won't get the refund of IGST on exports with payment of IGST. The details will be transmitted from IceGate, customs IceGate to the GSTN, and a system generated refund application. A system generated refund application in RFD 01 will be generated over here. Exporter don't have to file. He is not allowed to file such refund application. Automatic refund application is generated, which contains an Excel file, which has the list of invoices and shipping bills for which refunds are pending. It has some reasons of alert and what verification need to be done. All those details are available over there. GST officer will do a detailed verification. This process may take some more time, but yes, there is a timeline been given of 60 days. GST officer has to make the verification within 60 days and grant the refund, and also has to issue the report whether the exporter is genuine or really he's a risky. He has to give the report. But in practically, this whole verification doesn't get completed in 60 days, because over here the supplier of the exporter have been at times verified. Even which is called level 1, even the supplier of supplier is also been verified, which is called as level 2 supplier. Even those supplier ka verification hota hai, so this process may take time, because the jurisdictional officer of the exporter cannot contact or conduct verification of those suppliers. So he have to connect and communicate with the jurisdictional officer of those respective supplier. So this whole process may take a good amount of time. Ideally, 60 days time limit has been prescribed, but still it takes a bit of longer time. And practically, this is still taking a lot of issue. The process is not streamlined. The system generated refund application, the biggest challenge is system generated refund application is not coming automatically on time. This is taking a huge lot of time. There are many exporters for which a system generated refund application is not even generated yet. So if it is not generated, officer won't do verification. He won't get the refunds. Officer won't give a feedback. Alert won't be removed. All his future refunds also get affected. So this whole process of risky exporter, the alert of risky exporter, is a really havoc for any exporter. And this is really challenge for exporter to get this thing cleared, and very important for them for the survival and the smooth flow of their business. I remember one of my case wherein the exporter is based in Punjab, and he was been marked as risky exporter, and this verification was going on as per the old process. He has submitted all the documents, every verification was done, and what has happened that during that process, as it took a good long time, the new process was brought in. Instruction number 04 was issued. New process was brought in, and his file was not completed and not cleared. So then his file could not got processed in the old process. Then he had to wait for the refund application to get generated as per the new process, and it again took around 4 to 5 months for him to get it generated on the system, and then his alert was removed. So this was really a big challenge for the exporter, that once the alert has been invoked, huge issues are being faced by the exporter. So this is a challenges and issues in risky exporter. And once the GST officer is satisfied with the documentation and verification, he has to process the refund application in the same lines of way as he processed the refund application which we have discussed previously. In the same lines he has to process it. So in such cases, refund will be processed by the GST department. So refund will be processed by GST and not by customs for such kind of exports. And he has to give a feedback that whether he is risky or not, whether the alert should be continued or should be revoked. And basis this feedback, DGRM will remove the alert, and accordingly his future refunds and export business will run smoothly. So here are few FAQs we can discuss upon that. I've just listed out those FAQ on the basis of experience day in day out we have with the exporters. And here's the interesting question coming up. Can I track my refund application? Yes, you can track refund application by the ARN. We have discussed that in detail. Can I edit my refund application after filing? Can I edit or rectify or revise refund application? No. Like in GST, how we file GST returns, once it is filed, it cannot be edited. Over here also, it cannot be edited. Yes, we have an option to withdraw. We can withdraw the refund application once it is filed. So here is an interesting point. We can withdraw the refund application once we have filed, but before issuing any order or show cause notice. That is a time limit within which we got to ensure that we withdraw the refund application. Next question, do I need to file refund application chronologically? Yes, refund application has to be filed chronological order only. And if there is any nil, so we got to file the nil refund application for that period. Can I club multiple months in a refund application? Yes, multiple months can be clubbed in a single application, or you can also club months of a multiple financial year as well. Can I file refund, full refund as claimed by? Will I get a full refund as claimed by me in the application? Not always necessary. GST refund, once filed, officer has to verify the correctness and the details, and he will compute from his end, and only after that he will process the refund. If he feels, if he's not satisfied with the refund application, he, according to his own calculation, he will issue a show cause notice in RFD 08, and after filing your reply, he will then make his best judgment and he will process the refund accordingly. So it's not always guaranteed what you have filed is what you get. It's all depend. They provided, yes, if you have filed it correctly, there is no such query or question that that makes your refund inadmissible, so you will get that. Can I save the refund application? Definitely yes, you can save it. It will be available for next 15 days in the GST database. After that, it will be get deleted. Then you go to have the fresh application. Once you start preparing an application, there is an option to save, and you can log out, and again you can come and continue with your application. Whether I need to, whether I will be able to file refund without uploading statement of documents. As we have discussed that uploading the statement 1, 2, 3, 6, 5A, 5B is mandatory, without which the refund application will be filed. It's mandatory. Is it mandatory to include FOB value in RFD01 form in statement 3? Yes, it is mandatory to provide the FOB value because as we know, okay, for the purpose of calculation of the zero dated turnover for exports of goods, when we claiming refunds of ITC, the value has to be FOB value of the exports. Can I change data after clicking the validate statement button while uploading the statement? When we go to upload that statement in the JSON form, and after that we have to click the validate. Once it is validated, it shows the amounts and number of transaction on the screen, and it gets freezed. But yes, you can edit that, but to edit, it's not available directly. You go to delete the previous old records, and again you go to upload a fresh JSON after making the corrections. So in short, you can make the correction in the statement which is uploaded before filing. I'm getting an error that future date is not allowed for documents while uploading statement on GST portal while offline utility, even if I'm providing the correct document dates. Why? This is a very common problem. Many of the taxpayer face or even the consultant, when they file a lot of challenges on the technical issues on the portal as well while filing. So while uploading the JSON file. So over here, there's a very simple solution you can do. That first of all, you try it again to upload it. If it gets accepted, okay. If not, then because the offline utility doesn't have a server related date, so the system dates, it completely depend upon the local system date, which are computer ka date. It depends upon that. And in case अपने computer का dates में कुछ problem है, it is not correct, so such kind of error comes. We got to see कि अपने computer का date सही हो, and then this error will be gone away. We have already discussed about the risky exporter. So here are some common mistakes which any taxpayer should avoid, so that his refunds are not impacted adversely, and to ensure the smooth flow of refunds. So I listed few. There are many more, but I've just listed few important ones which are common errors होते हैं. Like incorrect computation of refunds. We got to ensure that our refund computation has been done correctly, accurately on the basis of the definitions, ensuring the definition or inclusion and exclusions. Second will be insufficient or incorrect documentation submitted. As I told, documentation uploaded is mandatory, without which our refund application may be rejected. ITC of capital goods included in the refund application. If ITC is included of the capital goods, officer will calculate at his end, and he will reject to that extent. He will recompute it, and our ITC refund will be reduced to that extent. So it's always advisable that we make a correct computation, we make a correct calculation and declaration, and we ourselves exclude the ITC of capital goods, or in case of inverted duty structure, we exclude ITC of input services as well. This reminds me of I remember one of my case where when a businessman was selling through e-commerce platform like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and etc. He was selling through that, and there was huge accumulation of ITC. There was a huge accumulation of ITC. His ITC rate, inward supplies GST rates, and outward supply GST rate were almost same. Still, there was a huge ITC accumulation. His main product, let's say he was into the business of garments. Let's say he is purchasing garments, let's say at 5%, and selling same at 5% GST. But even after that, there was huge accumulation. The possible reason behind that, because of all those charges and commissions and fees which those e-commerce platform levies, due to that, huge accumulation of ITC comes up. So in that case, will he be allowed to claim the refunds under inverted duty structure? As such, uske case mein, even if you do those calculation, you won't get much refund, because in case of inverted duty structure, the ITC to the extent of inputs are only allowed, and in such nature of business, those ITC are majorly comprises of input services like commission, platform fees, and all the other nomenclature. So in such case, refund का scope नहीं होता है. ITC will be there. He can utilize for his outward supplies in the future. Another very common mistakes which can impact your refunds is that it is not filed in time. So if the refund application is not filed in time, you won't get the refunds. So I will always recommend that you should file your refund application once you file your GSTR 3B. If the amount is huge, file it monthly. If it's not huge, you can file it for 2 months at a time, or maybe quarterly, 6 monthly, or maybe yearly as well. All depending upon the quantum and the volume of refunds. You can choose your own periodicity, but make sure we have decided that once we file our GSTR 3B, within 2 days or 3 days, we got to file our refund application for our regular clients. So this is the practice which we are following. So even you can try for that, so that the process of refund, the overall cycle, right from buying the particular inward supply till the money get credited into the refunds into the bank account, so that can shorten up. Next point, FIRC not received for export of services. In that case, you won't get your refunds till that time. Appropriate documents not available, so definitely you won't get the refund of that. Again, a very interesting point I remember is of that once you got the refunds, let's say if you have received a refund of exports of goods with payment of IGST, automatic refunds aa gaya, paisa received. There is a provision where if the exporter has not realized the money within the period of 1 year, which is basically law says that within the time prescribed under the FAMA law, which is around 1 year, if he doesn't receive the money of his sales proceed, then he got to deposit the refund with interest. Many times we have seen many of the exporter don't do that. So this is a very important point. He got to ensure that once he exports it, his money should be received within the period or the time limit prescribed by FAMA. Generally, it's 1 year. He got to ensure it, he got to receive it, or else he will have to reverse back the refunds with interest. So does that mean that isko paisa nahi mila, to usko refund de dena hai? But what if after completion of 1 year, let's say 1 year, 1 month, he get the refunds? Will he get the refund back? Yes, he will get the refunds. But then in such cases, once he received the money, once he received the sale proceed, after the completion of 1 year and he has refunded the amount, he has given back his refunds, he can claim that refund back from the government within the time period of 3 months from the date where he has reversed the refunds. So this is a very interesting point which many of the exporters miss out, which then gets highlighted at the time of audits or at the time of scrutiny. So this is the point when he does it on a own level. So there is no need of penalty or anything. But if the department highlights it, so department will issue a show cause under 73 and maybe in 74 as well. So we got to ensure that you do it on a self-assessed basis. Now, these are few best practices or points we should keep in mind always, so that our refunds are smooth and timely and we don't face much challenge in claiming the refunds. So always make sure that you do an accurate computation of refunds. Carefully file the refund application with the complete set of documents. File GSTR 1, 3B and refund application on time. Don't claim any excess or undue ITC at the time of filing 3B and also at the time of filing the refund application as well. Have all the documentation in place always. Very important, because major problem comes over here only, that all the transaction was done but documentation was not maintained, and this will ultimately impact your refunds. Adding to it, if you don't have a proper documentation, so your sale won't be considered as a like example, when you have sold it at 0. Let's say you have exported or you've sold at 0.1% and you haven't collected the documents from the merchant exporter. So you won't be able to justify that you are allowed to sell at 0.1% and you got to make the payment of differential GST with interest. So it's very vital whenever you are making such kind of transaction, selling at 0.1%, taking the benefit of notification number 40, 2017 central tax rate, you always got to ensure you take all the documentation, and likewise in the other type of transaction as well. Always have a documentation in place at the initial level only. Always coordinate and file reply to the GST officer on time during the whole proceedings of the refunds, because the delay in filing the reply or providing the clarification will ultimately impact your refunds only. And like very interesting points, सबसे best point, कुछ नहीं समझ में आया, get in touch with a consultant who can definitely help you and guide you up for getting the complete and correct refunds, and we can help you, take you out of the issues in case you are facing. So that's it from my side for today. We had a good deep discussion upon types of refunds and category of refunds. We had also discussed the what is exports of good, export of services. We have also discussed 0.1% sale ka concept kya hai, how it can be. There are many businesses who are not aware such kind of special provisions or special benefits, or let's say refunds are also available to them. So it's very important that awareness should be there to the business and to our consultant community as well, so that we can help the exporter or to the businesses, to the taxpayer, and so that they can efficiently have a good working capital fund flow management, because refund is very closely connected with working capital. As I told, we had made a policy for our regular clients. We got to make sure that we file our refund application within 2 or 3 working days once we file a GST FTP. So this ensures that it's a faster process of refunds. And we also have discussed about LUT. We also discussed recently about recovery of taxes in case we have received the refunds and not received the payments. Again, it's a self-declared. Very few of exporter, does that, but it's very important. We got to highlight that point to the exporter, and wherever possible, we should follow and comply with that particular rule. And time and again, we have seen that refund has always been a hot cake and hot topic of discussion, not just in GST, maybe in any income tax or any other law as well. There were many challenges in GST portals, GST return filing, ITC claim, 2A, 3B mismatch, 2B, technical problems in GST portal. I still remember that there were error used to come on GST portal, 150,000 people waiting and processing. That was a very interesting and funny thing used to come on the portal. And also there are many challenges in the refunds as well. So, but GST and CBIC has always been proactive and regularly addressing the issues of the taxpayer and coming up with the amendments or solutions or clarification for the taxpayer and for the industry. Yes, there are few unaddressed issues as well, which definitely impacts the business and the industry and also at the economy at the large. And many exporters, as I mentioned, are facing the problem of refund. They haven't received the refunds of old period as well. And even today, we are facing the cases where the refunds are pending for 17, 18, 18, 19. We are really shocked to see that these kind of such old refunds are also pending for with payment of IGST. So definitely that refunds can be processed by making the corrections or making at the right place or right corrections and right submissions. And but for in case of ITC refunds, the limit of 2 years always has to be followed. In the morning only, I had a call with one of prospective client. He was talking, sir, हमारा पहले से day 1 से हमने refund नहीं claim किया है, तो can we get it now? The answer is no, definitely नहीं मिलेगा उनको. Only 2-year time limit has to be checked with. So these are the very issues and problems. But yes, with the correct application of knowledge and slightly being updated with the provisions and notification, we can definitely manage efficiently the whole process of refunds, so that business and exporters are being, and all the taxpayers are being benefited out of it, and they don't have to face much issues. Yeah, that's it from my side for today. If the floor is open, if there is a questions or queries, we can definitely discuss upon. In case there were few queries yesterday also, which were being posted, and but it was showing a remark that participant is left. So if there are any unanswered or unclarified answer, we can discuss today as well. I'll check the question box. Yes, we have quite a lot of questions. There are quite a lot of questions. Yes, let me read few questions. Can we claim refunds if we have invoice in rupees? Can we claim refunds if we have invoiced in rupees? If you have invoiced in rupees, but see to it that money has been received for export of services. Make sure that money is received in convertible foreign exchange only. Only then it will be classified as export of services, and only then you will get the refunds. Otherwise, you won't get the refund. And in case of exports of goods also, it's important that you receive the money in foreign exchange, or else bank won't issue BRC, and that will again create a problem for you. Only a few limited cases where RBI is allowed to get the money in rupee, like Nepal or Bhutan. In such cases it is okay, or else you have to receive the money in convertible foreign exchange only. Invoice uh, Invoice can be in rupee, but make sure that receipt is in foreign exchange. Next question. Can we claim refund if we have received the inward remittance in NRI via online intermediary? Okay, so I believe it will be in case of export of services. So in such cases, if the money is not received in foreign exchange, or if you have not received FIRC from the bank, you won't be able to claim any refunds for such cases. And moreover, the whole transaction will become taxable. It's very difficult then to justify it to be in exports. I will give an example of PayPal, where if you have received your money foreign exchange in your PayPal account, so Citibank was the bank who used to issue FIRC in such cases. Otherwise, it's not recommended to get such money in rupees form. Ensure that money is received in foreign exchange and bank issue FIRC. If you're getting the FIRC, nothing like that. So इससे मुझे याद आता है there are many businesses which are facing such issue that they are not able to get the money in foreign exchange. At times they are supplying, all the conditions are satisfied for exports, but they are getting the money from some local or domestic party in India. So in such cases it won't be classified as exports and the transaction become taxable. So it's not recommended. Next question. Can we get refund of ITC refunds of 2021 and 21-22 if we have export sales in 22-23? If you have made exports in 22-23, so you will have to file the refund application, and old refunds timeline has already been gone away. So 22-23, you can file refund application, but ITC, it will be difficult for you to get the refund of old ITC. It will be difficult for you. Next question. Can we state invoice details in statement 3 if it is not considered in GST R1? Very interesting question. Statement 01 or statement 03, what we have discussed, that we go to fill up all those details of purchases and sales and shipping bill details, or let's say FIRC details, and all those details will immediately get compared with GSTR 3B, GSTR 1 and GSTR 2B. All your sales details will be get compared with your GSTR 1. Even a single difference or a decimal difference in also in your invoice number or invoice date, the JSON won't be get successfully uploaded. It will show an error. So you got to ensure any detail which you furnish in your statement at the time of filing the refund application, it has to it has to match with your GSTR1. Well, all the details which you have furnished in your GSTR1, it has to match with that. Only then you will be able to proceed with filings of your refund application. And in case you have missed out any transaction in your GSTR1, you won't be able to upload in your statement. Likewise, if any transaction is not available in your 2A or 2B, such kind of details will also won't be allowed. Next question. Do we need to upload sales and purchase invoices? Not always mandatory, not always mandatory. Specifically, if the officer needs it, if he asks for it, we got to upload it. Purchase invoices, moreover, circular strictly said that no need of uploading any purchase invoices, because अभी तो वैसे भी सारे invoices हमारा सारा claim 2B से match होके ही जाता है, तो all the details which are available over there, so no need of uploading purchase invoices. Only in cases where officer specifically needs for few transactions, you can upload, not a problem, you can provide those details, but by default there is no need to upload all the sales and purchase invoices. But if he calls for, you can provide it. Checking the next question. How can we show a single invoice having part payments in multiple FIRC in statement 03? Very interesting questions. Here the question says is that there is a single invoices wherein the amount was received in part, so multiple FIRC got generated. So such cases, yes, we got to report those details over there. On a vice versa, the case can be that there can be multiple invoices against which a single FIRC is generated. There can be such cases as well. We have come up with such cases as well. So in such case where there are multiple invoices but a single FIRC, so if we put the same FIRC number in all the transaction, it says duplicate value. The system don't accept it. So in such cases, we have to make some difference in the FIRC number. And at the time of proceedings and the time of processing of refunds, we justify those details and documents to the GST officer. But we have to tweak that details in this statement. And when in case where the single invoice has a part payments in multiple FIRC, so in that case also what we can do is we can put multiple times the invoice details and accordingly put those FIRC details, multiple FIRC details. Next question. Next question. Next question कहाँ चला गया तब क्या? Kindly mention the circular number for refund application applicable mandatory documentation list. That is circular number 125. You go to check that, which has all the details available. It's really a master circular, I say. You can check that. You'll find all the details over there. Again, the same question. Question, which click. Okay, very interesting question. We are 100% exporter with monthly billing of 10 to 25 crore, approx 20 invoices. What is a good with payment of IGST or without payment of IGST? I'll say it's $1 million question. Very interesting question, and every exporter should think about this question and accordingly make his plan, because this thing impacts the working capital to great extent. This can impact his profitability and his efficiency in the business to very great extent. So there is no straightforward answer. First of all, there is no straightforward answer. There are multiple factors which you need to consider to get to a conclusion on this. You got to consider a few important factors like the nature of business, what you are into, whether you are into manufacturing or trading, what is the product you are dealing into, and what is the GST rate of the product, and how to what extent and how you are into your inputs or input services, or to what extent capital goods are being introduced in your business, and all those factors, and how to what extent you are getting your EGM filed. There are many such factors need to consider. Only after that we can come to the conclusion whether we should go for a with payment of IGST or without payment. So there is no straightforward answer. We got to compare all this factor, and only then we can decide. Both the options are good at its place. There are many businesses where we have recommended with payment of IGST for them, and there are businesses where we have strongly recommended go for LUT mode, and in few businesses we have also provided solution of hybrid mode, wherein he can for few transactions go for with payment, and for the remaining go for without payment of taxes. Check the next question. What is the penalty in case of supplies made under exports without payment of without pay, means under LUT mode, for 4 months without filing LUT? Okay, but I understand that you have made the exports under LUT mode without obtaining the LUT. This is what I understood from the question. So here there is a big problem for you, that as you haven't applied for LUT, department may consider it to be a taxable supply. They won't give you the benefit of exports, and they may ask you to pay the GST, applicable GST rate, along with interest on that. There was a circular in between which was come lately, wherein post facto LUT was allowed. You may search and check for that particular circular, and maybe you may get some relaxation under that. You can check that circular once. Otherwise, it's a very big problem. Again, same question. Again, same question. Yes, I think these were the questions which I could see over here. I hope I could do some justice to the whole topic today, and I could make some add some value to your in this session. Yeah, thank you for your patient hearing, and really appreciate everyone over here to be attending this session.
Thank you so much, Sachin bhai, for the wonderful deliberation on both the days.
Sure.
It's our privilege to invite you. We have still pending FAQs.
No, all FAQs are done. In case you have any
and all the questions also we have taken, right?
We have taken all the questions. In case you have any further clarification or need any support, you can get in touch directly to us. This is the mobile number mentioned over here. Also, you can mail on this ID also. You'll get a reply soon. So also you can connect with us on our social media platform. Also, you can connect with us on our social media platforms. We are regularly active on all the social media. We have been following a very interesting initiative which we have started of named as Let's Make Tax Simple, wherein we are trying to make the taxation in Indian taxation system has been considered one of the very complex system. So we are trying to make all the concepts of taxation in a simple way, trying to explain through articles or writing articles or videos. You can connect on with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and definitely on WhatsApp status and also. So it was pleasure discussing and connecting with everyone over here. Over to you, Virag bhai.
Great initiative, Sachin bhai. Let's make tech simple. That has to be a aim for all the professional. And you have taken this lead you've taken a small step in this, and would like to request everyone to check the social media for that. They are doing a great job posting small knowledge sharing sessions or material for the benefit of the community at large, and also for the businesses. So we associate with him also on social media, and then professional network would like to request to connect at least on LinkedIn, so you can have updated the presentation in the handout sections. You can download. You already given the yesterday session recording in the reminder mail, so please check it as well. Already announced in the beginning, but who are joined late, for the benefit of them, I'm repeating. And with this, we are concluding our today's session. Friends, we have a few more sessions coming up in next week on charitable trust, on option mastery, and we are coming up with Excel in the next to next week. Power BI, the interesting topic is coming up. So please be connected with us on social media, and we'll inform you as and when whatever will be we are organizing. And if it's of your interest, your team interest, you can attend, you can tell your friends, and take the maximum benefit of this. So with this announcement, we are concluding our today's session. Thank you so much, all the attendees, for making this 2-day session a masterclass only on GST refund interesting, interactive, and making it a successful. Thank you to all. Once again, thank you, Sachin bhai, for answering all the queries of all the attendees, and being so nice. And the best part is a wonderful, colorful presentation, a speaking presentation, I would like to say. So thank you once again. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you all.